everybody, and welcome again to Gen Con TV's TableTakes. I am here, of course, with the lovely Javion Noire. And as always, we like to take it slow down, ask each other how we're doing this week, especially for those, Javion, how did you survive having, the world's worst air quality this so far this
Really?
week?
Yeah. The world's worst. I don't know how bad it was. I was in Portland last weekend, and it was
So
really bad when I was down there. It wasn't so bad for me this week anyway. I did, however, get my second monkeypox shot. So it's the
Hey.
itchiest thing that's ever existed on my body, and I'm not allowed to do anything to it. So that's cool. Also, I went to the state fair this past week on Wednesday. Had a great time, rode some rides. I tried a rock climbing challenge. I got further than anybody else that day. They told me I got the furthest. So all the practice has been paying off, but I just didn't bring the right shoes, didn't bring any
Oh,
chalk. So
you
shame on me. I should have
failed your
prepared.
instructor. How could you? How would Emma see you now,
Mhm.
knowing that you've tried all those practices and you didn't look at that? We're just so shame, so
So
shame.
shameful, so shameful. I'll never show my face around Puyallup again.
Oh man, it's okay. At least you had a fun time and you got to enjoy it
Yeah.
this weekend. What about you, Noir? I heard that you are a responsible adult and you got responsible adult things done.
Yeah, I was unfortunately I was not able to make it here last week because I was off getting a brand new car, which was fun. Except for the part where everything was done, and then they're like, with just 5 more minutes, and then another 5 more minutes, and that kept going for approximately 6 hours. But
Wow.
yeah, it was awful. But I have the car now.
Hey.
So that's fun. I can get into all manners of trouble here in Chicago, the greatest city in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cheers.
I thought it was West Coast, Best Coast. What happened to
Best
that?
Coast is best coast.
Did you just forget about that, or?
Until it falls into the ocean, I guess.
Oh, okay. Okay. We all can't be inland like you.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you guys have a water restriction notice where you have to conserve your water or something
That's
like
No,
that?
no, we're
California.
Washington. That's
Oh,
the
that's right,
Southern
that's right.
Brothers.
We put
We
the
got-
wash in
We
Washington.
got evergreens up here in our state.
Yeah, you guys are famous for Nirvana, coffee, and Twilight. Good job.
Exactly. And seafood.
We
And
like to
seafood.
sparkle, okay? It's just our sparkling personality here, okay? No.
Bonsai, what about you? What have you been up to?
I have been doing the very domestic organizing things. So I finally have kicked my butt out of the depression sloop. And so now I am now organizing things into boxes and cleaning up my area. So it's amazing. I have boxes for boxes and all the wires. Do I need all these wires? Yes, I do. You never know when you need these wires. How dare you ever throw away wires? You don't throw away wires.
Agreed. I literally have a giant case of wires at my feet at all times, just in case.
Exactly. So we could even ask chat and those folks at YouTube, how many wire boxes do you have? And also, why is it important to never get rid of them?
Because you might need them. You
Because
never
you
know.
do. You might need them.
What if 5 years from now you're like, man, I really need to connect my landline once again just to hear that dial tone again.
You joke, but my grandma still has a landline. So ha.
Exactly.
Jokes on us.
Exactly. But you know what? We have to, as much as we talk about landlines and all that stuff, I feel like sometimes we need to let go of what we have right now and then embrace going into the future and making it so everybody can get their hands on more nerdy things. And when everything is accessible, what does that make? Us everyday heroes, right, Noir? What do you think?
Yep. This is when my jobs collide. For those of you unfamiliar, I am the senior community manager over at Evil Genius Games, which is providing everyday heroes for everybody, and that is what our article is about today. Evil Genius Games will release Everyday Heroes core book and cinematic adventures line into retail. campaign settings are going to feature Kong Skull Island, Crow, Rambo, and more. So we're looking into getting into retail 2023. Everyday Heroes TTRPG is a 5th edition system inspired by D20 Modern. This TTRPG was funded on Kickstarter, where it raked in $395,000 from 4,215 backers. Thank you all so much. About $94 per backer. RPG sessions for this game can be played out in various modern campaign settings or in campaign settings from our new cinematic adventure line. So if you want to play through some of the stories of your favorite movies, Highlander, Pacific Rim, Total Recall, The Crow, we give you the means to do so. We're looking to have our release of the rules compilation, which is going to be MSRP of about $40 into retail around November to December 2023. The gaming company launched a third-party licensing program that allows game publishers to create their own RPGs for Everyday Heroes. Luke Gygax's Gaxworks has already signed up to use our third-party license with their new Strange and Grim horror campaign settings that will be launching on Kickstarter in October 2022. So be on the lookout for that.
Ooh.
We have also gone ahead and hired Owen Casey Steffens, who of Paizo notoriety, as our new editor-in-chief. And he's going to help the Evil Genius team for the Everyday Heroes books, as well as being the lead writer on Kong Skull Island. So there's my world emerging.
Wow.
Honestly, having behind the scenes look into everything, I'm terribly excited for what we're going to be bringing to the TTRPG community. In particular, it has always been a dream of mine to bring Highlander to TTRPG, and being
That's
able
awesome.
to have a hand in that. It's been one of the best experiences of my life. So
maybe we should have you be the special guest that we interview next week,
Yeah,
so we
there
can
you
learn
go.
more about your
About all
experience
this.
behind the scenes and working with Evil Genius.
I do.
I desperately want to give y'all scoops sometimes. Like I don't know if I'll probably get in trouble, but we're talking about here is season 1 of our cinematic adventures, which is Pacific Rim, Highlander, Total Recall, and all that. But we are starting to look out for season 2. While there's nothing set in stone, we're trying to make sure that we hit genres of every interest, right?
Yeah.
So not just movies, but maybe some
Books.
TV shows that people
There's some
really
video game
TV
characters you could probably
video
add
game.
in.
Oh, that is totally not the scoop, but also can we give applause because like Noire just like that was like a very nice like rundown and everything. So please appreciate Evil Genius. Hey, you got a good guy running for you. Hey. But on that note, yeah,
Noire,
speaking about
do Garfield RPG. Do Garfield RPG.
Garfield.
Yeah, you get a disadvantage whenever it's a Monday. However, you do get a +5 or a bonus whenever in the presence, which is 30 feet around lasagna.
Oh wow.
That'd actually be a good one, or just all cats RPG of all famous cats. So you got the Aristocats, you got Garfield, and all that jazz. The cats. But no, it's all very, very exciting, and it is nice to know that there is no confirming that there may be something other than movies that are maybe coming in season 2. Neither no confirmed nor denied on this channel. But you know what is confirmed? Javion, how do you feel about like grinding and pain of death over and over again and just loving it?
Oh, you mean Dark Souls?
No. Oh wait, no. I'm talking about a different one. The one the game that just keeps on giving, that always comes out with a new game all the time.
Gotcha. Yes, Skyrim. You're talking about Skyrim. Well,
yes.
If you like Skyrim, if you like the Elder Scrolls games, then you'll be very happy to know that there is an Elder Scrolls board game that has been announced earlier this year, but we have a lot more details on the locations and some of the gameplay details as well. Are you two any Elder Scrolls fans? Did you play any of those games back in the day?
Yes. I called it my hoarding simulator. I would hop into a dungeon, get every loot, and then crawl to my horse
Oh,
as much as I could, and then teleport to the nearest shop so I could sell all the loot. That was my gaming experiences.
that's awesome. That's
Elder
awesome.
Scroll.
What about you, Nora?
I played that game to death on almost every console it's been on, and I've downloaded all of the mods. I'm ready for the next Elder Scroll, please.
Yeah,
You are-
absolutely.
Skyrim came out
hmm
November 11th, 2011. I was at the midnight release. I came very early. I want a new one already. It's 2022.
No, it's got to be remastered.
Yeah.
Not again.
Deluxe Platinum Special Director's Cut Edition.
With Thomas the Train.
Yes, exactly. Well, like a lot of people, I played Skyrim as my first Elder Scrolls game, but there are a lot of people who have played Oblivion and Morrowind and a bunch of other Elder Scrolls games. I mean, it's Elder Scrolls. Skyrim is Elder Scrolls 5 for a reason. Well, they're bringing more Elder Scrolls lore and locations into Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era. It is the tabletop adaptation for the Elder Scrolls series, and it's places all across Tamriel that are being added in. So, of course, you're going to get the chilly tundra of Skyrim, but you're also going to see the metropolitan Cyrodiil and the strange lands of Morrowind, as well as a couple of more mysterious places like High Rock and Black Marsh, some of the more some of the less commonly explored areas of Tamriel. You're also going to see Valenwood as an expansion coming soon. Yep, they've already announced an expansion before releasing the game. And then, of course, the homeland of the Red Guards, Hammerfell, and the High Elf homeland of Somerset Isle, all in early development, still being announced as they get more information.
You
So the
see
board
those
game,
warriors from Hammerfell? They
yeah.
have curved swords. Curved sword.
The Betrayal of the Second Era board game is going to feature 30 main storylines, which is going to take place over a trio of quests. The final adventure is going to be actually determined by what you do in the game and the decisions that the players make in the first two quests. You are going to explore the world on a region map, and what's really interesting is that you're actually switching to a separate system of tiles for combat encounters, which is completely separate from exploration. And if you ever, God forbid, land on a town tile, there's a separate town encounter with a different series of options unique to each town's location. One of the criticisms I've heard of Skyrim is that the towns were meant to feel large, feel alive, but not actually be large on the scale of some other games like Kingdom Come Deliverance, other open world fantasy RPG games. Well, they are seeking to combat sort of that criticism by adding in more content for when you're exploring towns. You can also get experience from doing combat encounters and quests, modify your characters with a skill tree, much like in the Elder Scrolls games, much like any RPG, improving your stats and other aspects as you play. It's sounding really promising. The miniatures game for Skyrim is already out if you wanted to get like that fix for Elder Scrolls gameplay with like on the table presence instead of just in a digital format. And we've seen a lot of, board game adaptations of other, IPs like video games, like movies and TV shows and things like that. So this is actually being developed by Bethesda. They've made a bunch of other stuff before. It looks like the same folks who made Too Many Bones and Star Wars Armada are co-creating it. And it even looks like the Tip Theory Games, if you recognize them from Cloudspire, and Triplock are actually helping develop it as well. So yeah, it sounds like it's going to be launched in May next year. The crowdfunding campaign will start then. We don't know anything about the pledge amounts just yet, but we have a lot of information to work with, a lot of stuff to look forward to. So yeah.
All right. No, that sounds exciting. I can't wait. Of course, everyone, that look it up for 2023 in the May springtime. Very
You hear
fun
about
time.
those warriors from Hammerfell? I hear they have curved swords.
All right. We can
Curved.
already see who's going to buy the expansion and deluxe set for this as soon as the Kickstarter comes out. So if you want to go ahead and fuel Noir's passion for this game, I'm sure he has a Patreon link you can send for
I used to be in
the
a
deluxe
picture
edition.
like you until I took an arrow to the knee.
Man, I thought that meme had died a long time ago.
Never.
Oh, totally did. Well, speaking of stuff that should be left in the past, especially like really like unfortunate ideas and sayings that people, especially in the fantasy world, there is some news that is going about WotC bringing in some lawyers to combat some very, very bad stuff coming in from new TSR. Noir, do you have more stuff about that's going on?
Oh, I do. Wizards of the Coast files lawsuit to stop publication of tabletop game alleging trademark violation and reprehensible content. You may remember a couple of weeks ago where we reported on new TSR having a I guess you could call it game, Star Frontiers RPG, in which they had a sub race known as the Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did that. Well, now it's gotten now the sit has made its way all the way up to Wizards, and they're saying halt. I don't know why I got so hyped into this. Wizards of the Coast filed a preliminary injunction in Seattle last week that seeks to prevent the release of a Wisconsin company's upcoming tabletop game, citing conflicts over both intellectual property rights and allegedly racist and transphobic content. There's nothing. Anyway, Wizards of the Coast, owned by the conglomerate Hasbro, is the current publisher of the Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game, the audience for which has been growing steadily over the course of the last several years. The company's injunction, filed on September 8th in the U.S. District Court in the Western District of Washington, aims to stop the publication of Star Frontiers New Genesis, a tabletop space opera role-playing game that's currently under development at TSR LLC, headquarters in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. TSR was founded in 2021 by Ernie Gygax, son of late D&D creator Gary Gygax, Stefan Deinhardt, and Justin Lanassa, the owner and operator of the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum in Lake Geneva. The museum is located on the site of the first office that Gary Gygax opened for TSR Incorporated in 1976. So in July, a preview copy of New Genesis leaked online and was met with immediate controversy due to allegedly containing explicitly racist and transphobic content. A Negro race is described as a sub-race in the game and as having average intelligence with a maximum intelligence rating of 9, while the Norse counterpart race has a minimum intelligence rating of 13. The preliminary injunction notes citing an example from the New Genesis playtest. Washington state-based watch group No Hate in Gaming cited in Wizards' preliminary injunction exhibits subsequently documented hate messages allegedly posted to social media by New Genesis author Dave Johnson. So all the way around, this is not great for new TSR. This isn't what's needed in the space right now. We all play these games because we love having the opportunity to be something that we're not, or to be something that society doesn't allow us to freely express in the day-to-day. So creating a game or a system which not only inhibits the freedom of the players to creatively express themselves, but to bring in real world stereotypes and hatred is just we need to get that ish out of here. So good on you, Hasbro. Good on you, Wizards of the Coast. I'm still gonna be on you, but this was a good move.
Definitely a good move.
New TSR, I don't even know what they're actually supposed to be called. Really showing how hard it is to be creative. I mean, I can see the lawsuit of it all, maybe doing something to help, like, wag the finger or whatever, but it's more about like the broader message, right? Like knowing that you can't actually just do whatever you want. You may think you can, you may think, I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to try to get people like, riled up over something, and maybe then they'll start talking about me. But no, you can't actually just do whatever you want to do. So we'll see how it unfolds. I'm sure we'll get more details as they unfold. We've been getting plenty so far. And I'm definitely going to be watching to see if there's actual justice being done.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I've talked about food. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yes, I hope that is more of a broad message that people need to start opening their eyes that this is stuff that is rampant throughout a lot of the tabletop RPG kind of space. And that's why people like us, all of us folks here at TableTakes, try to like say, hey, call these out. So if you see something, call it out for what it is, because hey, we've been here at this table as well. We just want to be able to play and feel comfortable. So, that's all we can say. Hopefully this will open eyes to people to basically realize, yeah, this has been a problem. That's why we need to fix it and put a stop. No, go ahead.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say a very special shout out to No Hate in Gaming. You can visit them over at nohateingaming.com. If they have a way to donate to their cause, please consider doing so. They're a watchdog that has to endure looking at the very worst of our hobby to make sure that we don't come upon it. And anybody that does that work deserves as much recognition as possible. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to end our article praising the people that should get it. Shout out to you, No Hate Gaming.
Go GG, No Hate Gaming. Now let's go ahead from that. Let's go ahead and move on to something like, stretch shrug that a little sadness off. Fun thing to find out, Modifius has partnered with Sean Tompkins to bring on Ironsworn, a Starforge, to retail. Basically, if you guys don't know, Ironsworn is a solo RPG game where it's fantasy based, where you, the player, are going through this world, and iron is very important. So you would swear on your sword or on your iron to complete these various tasks, and it's punishable by death, basically. Like, hey, if you break your iron sword, you die. This Starforge itself is the sci-fi version of that fantasy solo RPG. So this is actually Starforge's new sci-fi version of Ironsworn is partnering with Modifius to bring it to retail. This might normally not be big news, but in context, I think at least it's pretty neat. It makes it, from my knowledge, the first solo RPG, first solo tabletop RPG to be widespread in retail. Usually, hey, we see a lot of Dungeons and Dragons being passed out, a lot of various different other things. Solo RPGs, unfortunately, tend to go to the side, or something that you would normally make as a specialty purchase, such as the vampire, vampire, 1,000-year-old vampire and such. So if you are very excited, and of course, prior to this, Ironsworn was print on demand on Kickstarter project, but I'm just very excited that it's going to retail. I also backed the Starforge version of this on Kickstarter itself. I'm just excited to see more nerdy things, especially if you're somebody who like maybe can't get a game with everybody, but still wants to do like an RPG experience just maybe by yourself. This is a game for you. So keep in mind it's gonna be going to probably like Barnes and Noble and things and excitement.
That's so cool. I mean, to think that it started off as just Kickstarter stuff, just print and play stuff, and it got to be this big. I mean, I've definitely seen a surge in solo RPGing, like journaling RPGs, like for like single player stuff more this like past couple of years than ever before. And I think that's really cool. And this is definitely one I've never heard of. That's why I like doing the show with you guys, because I learn about like new RPGs just from like doing the show with you. And this one definitely sounds like one that definitely flew under the radar for me. I mean, it sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's just very, very interesting. What about you? Like Javion, I heard that there's more things about like, you saying that there's this rise about solo RPGs. What do you know about the rise of solos?
In fact, I have a way for you to turn any RPG into a solo RPG, making every single RPG now an RPG, a solo RPG. So this is a new tabletop RPG adventure system called the Radiance Adventure Engine system. This is basically a supplement that lets you turn any RPG into a single player game. So if you're like looking for a way to fill in the time when, all 5 of your players can't make it for a session, or maybe 3 of them can't make it, the other 2 just feel like it's not worth it. Now you have something to do and to fill in the time. Or rather, if you are trying to get new inspiration for your RPGs, I always am as a DM. I'm always looking for new encounters, new content to put on the table, so I don't have to do it all out of the top of my head in the homebrew style. This system comes with a lot of cards that you're using to turn the RPG into a solo RPG. You generate a core adventure problem, then you get a narrative arc for a session or a campaign. It's really up to you. And you tell it across a 4-act structure. You break it up into 8 adventure stages made of detail cards that provide you with lots of drama, and you make your way through each of the 4 story arcs in the solo RPG, using these opportunities to take different paths that leave you down different storylines, sort of an choose your own adventure style. You choose the path cards. They're all supposed to be setting agnostic, so you don't have to just do fantasy RPGs. You can go to sci-fi, modern, lots of different styles, right? And it's supposed to be designed to work with any TTRPG. Your decisions can be driven by these action cards that you're playing, and they offer different options for you to take. So it's not all just imagination based. It's not all just creativity out of the top of your head and the content that's in the book. They actually provide a lot of guidance with their scenario cards and their action cards as well. They have the scenarios branch out into multiple paths, each option leading to a new branch in the storyline, and stories can just be resolved to their natural conclusions proposed by the adventure engine that you're playing with. So it's a really interesting way to enable you to turn a game not into just a solo game, but you can also use the imagination mode to make it more of a journaling RPG, or really, honestly, you could just use this as like I said, an inspiration outlet, just a catalyst for more adventures for your players throughout their future adventures when they do manage to get back together and play again. So I thought this was really cool. It's very innovative. Like, you've heard of RPGs and you've heard of like accessories, but modifying games to be something else and being something this wide open isn't something that you see every day. So I thought it was really cool. And I think the folks that are making it, the Kickstarter campaign won't be live until October 12th. It's going to be published by Oddfish Games. You might have heard of them if you're ever heard of How to RPG with Your Cat supplement that lets you play with your kitten in your role-playing games, or Cooking with Dice. No, you're not actually throwing dice into the game, but it's just featuring recipes based off of like TTRPG tropes and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to hear more about this. And it looks like you might be able to get a copy of the book as soon as February 2023. So that's very cool. And I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for it.
Ooh. Well, Noire, have you ever done anything as solo, refined solo?
So yeah, I used to actually have a show called Dungeons and Deep Dish, which was a one-on-one one-shot that a one-on-one interview that ended with a one-on-one one-shot. So I mean, I guess that's not solo because there's another person. I mean,
It's not solo. Solo's by yourself.
I mean, I was thinking solo as in like just you and the GM, but that's not that doesn't count. There is another game that I used to play a bunch called 1,000-Year-Old Vampire or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's journaling, and as a vampire, you can only occupy so many memories, and so there would be days that you have to get rid of an entry because that's showing you forgetting things in time. I like solo games. I think that they're pretty fun. Return to Dark Tower is another one that I play solo sometimes because I'm a lonely lad. But yeah, no, I think this is real cool.
Bonsai, are you keeping up with your quest calendar?
Yes, I actually am. I do it once every week. So I just actually hired another beefy body because I'm the necromancer, and I hired Cronan the barbarian, and now I have Hawkeye the savage. So yeah, never mind. It's my own little separate. I do it every Sunday, and I'm very excited. And also, I am excited to get the quest calendar for 2023 coming in soon. So all the things.
Very cool.
Yes. Oh, speaking of things that are coming in, especially things that are coming in this month, Taz, basically, Brew of Imbalance gets an expansion. This Together Studios reveals that the Adventure Zone, Brew of Balance, is going to get expansion. It's labeled as a kind of a big deal. I don't know if you know this. So kind of a big deal is actually expansion. If you click on the link and look at the cover art, you can kind of get a hint of why they call it that certain name. But yes, it's supposed to be released sometime this month. This expansion adds to the Adventure Zone, Bureau of Balance board game that was released back in 2020. This adds new petals to the metal locations to explore, relics, and as well as a few new villains for you to play and overcome. The game box itself comes with 6 mission cards, 60 challenges card, 10 fantasy Costco cards, and 3 surprise cards. If you want to go ahead and look up more about the Adventure Zone, we actually, in our YouTube broadcast here on Gen Con TV, actually did a play demo of that. So if you want to go ahead and just type in Gen Con TV Adventure Zone preview, you can go ahead and look that up on our YouTube.
That's super cool. I should tune in for that. Actually, I should go watch that because I remember when the board game came out, I was really curious about it, but I actually didn't get a chance to play it. For folks who maybe don't know who Adventure Zone is, it's really just the McElroy brothers who did a lot of very I would say popular podcasts, and also like YouTube, plenty of YouTube content with Polygon. They did a D&D live play where they really didn't know a ton about D&D, which is why it was so much fun to tune in and listen to. And it just, I mean, it got to like, I wouldn't say Critical Role levels of hype, but I mean, in certain circles, definitely that level of notoriety for playing D&D in their very clever, humorous way that they did. And of course, it turned into a board game, and people are responding pretty well to it, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. So if you guys are interested in it, just go ahead and check it out. It should be in stores now or very soon at the end of this month. One of the things that we wanted to really dive into is a topic that Javion surprised us with, and I want to hear what people's opinions are about this. Javion, tell us about it.
Sure thing. Okay, so there is an exhibit called the National Toy Hall of Fame. Every year, a game is a toy is nominated or recognized for inspiring creative play and its popularity over a sustained period. Every year, they induct new honorees and showcases both new and historic versions of classic toys by beloved generations. And emphasis on historic versions as well as new, because up there for the finalists this year for 2022, we've got Settlers of Catan, which I guess is a toy. Yeah, board games are toys, right?
Yeah, board games are toys.
There's also Bingo, another game. Light Bright, you might remember that. I know I remember it. A lot of people might not. These little neon pegs that you pop
Choking
in,
hazards.
these like bulbs. Yeah, these little light bulbs that you would poke in and make pictures out of these lights that you would have, and you turn the thing on and it lights up, and then you have little templates. I'm getting myself excited about it just from nostalgia, actually, just re-explaining this again. And then there's also Briar Horses is one of the last finalists, which I've actually never heard of. I guess they're just like miniature horses.
There's horses and they're plastic, and you just like, they have a whole slew of animals. It's not just the horses, animals as well. It's they didn't have any hair or anything like that, but they're plastic and they're very hard to break. So you just go pretend you're an animal. It was mostly one of those toys.
Well, personally, I'll be voting for Settlers of Catan because it's probably the only one of these that I've had extended play with and actually like a lot of enjoyment with. Also, I think it would be cool to see another board game as one of the National Toy Hall of Fame winners, along with, I think Risk was up there as another
Cardboard Box was inducted in 2005.
Cardboard Box?
Yeah, no, and if you look at the list, if you guys want to click on that list of all the past toys that were inducted, cardboard boxes and blankets have also been included as a National Toy Hall of Fame in these lists.
Cardboard Box made it before chess.
You know what? Okay, hold on. Are we fighting about cardboard boxes? Because they were actually really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No. Cardboard Box is not a toy.
Cardboard Box is definitely a toy.
No, it's
it's definitely a toy. I specifically requested one Christmas to not get any toys except for cardboard boxes, specifically refrigerized style boxes, and that is when I learned that cardboard is not good to make a 2-story structure out of.
Because it's not a toy.
Out of the Box, where they made like a giant fort, which is like a portal to another dimension, just out of cardboard boxes.
Cardboard Box got inducted before Bubbles.
Out of the Box, okay? Out of the Box is a TV show about people going into cardboard boxes, okay?
I don't want to hear.
A beloved toy by all, much like sand. Another beloved toy that everyone remembers and has had their fair share with at the beach, I'm sure. Making sand castles and little poopy castles. You you get the wet sand and you let it drip out into a little pile.
Sweet. Cardboard Box made it before Swing. Swing made it in 2016.
Swing? Okay. I mean, sure. I get it.
Dungeons and Dragons also made it in 2016, just in case anybody's curious.
Okay. There's a huge variety here. Well, if any of you have strong opinions like we do about who should win this year, you can actually vote in the People's Choice, where you get more than just the 4 finalists to choose from. You can also vote for a lot of other toys that maybe you're excited about. Maybe one of these is one of your favorites. You can also nominate one of your own if you're willing to give these people, the strong National Museum of Play. If you're willing to give them your address, then you can nominate your own favorite toy, whatever your favorite plaything is. So check out their website with the link that's in chat if you want to participate.
But yes, a lot of
bullcrap.
see, now you got to back up all those opinions, Noir, that you have. Put your human address on there and your name and everything.
I'm not scared. I'm not. Listen. Cardboard Box made it into the Toy Hall of Fame before playing cards and chess. This is a problem.
No, it's fine. We could go on debating about this, but I feel like it is time that we wrap up these headlines before we get too debated about cardboard boxes and how I'm right about it being a great toy. And right into the bundle box with Javion and his bundles. Here to save the day. Come on now, Javion. Tell us about all those bundles today. Hey.
Thank you so much for that intro, Bonsai. I feel even more energized to bring you all a new bundle today. All right. Today we've got the Bundle of Holding presenting Troika Worlds. Troika Worlds is an fantastic RPG set in an acid fantasy adventure world. It takes a lot of inspiration from the 1980s fighting fantasy game books. It lets beginners and jaded role players alike go wild in crazed cross-planar pursuits. Trip the light fantastic with this new assortment of visionary adventures fueled by hallucinatory creativity. That's right. It's a whole acid trip of an RPG. You can become a wizarding nautiloid, cryptozoologist, venomist, misstep, monastic, octopod headfoot, Sharon Knight, Gilder, or maybe a washed up black sash dimension hopping in your golden barge among the crystal spheres strung like pearls across the humpbacked sky. Wow, what an explanation. For just $12.95, you get all 4 titles in our starter collection, as well as the DRM free ebooks, a retail value of $46. Ooh, what a deal. It includes the Melsonian's Complete Troika Numinous Edition Core Rulebook, previously in the January 2021 Troika bundle on Bundle of Holding, along with the third-party adventures and campaign settings, Leaf Punk, A Bug's Guide to the Shimmer, and The City of the Red Pox. But wait, there's more. If you act now and beat the threshold price of $21.20, you level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 4 more supplements and adventures worth an additional $49, including Melsonian's recent Slow Sleigh to Plankton Downs and very pretty Paleozoic pals, Permian Nations, along with Bones Deep and the 6-issue compilation of Aetherjack's Almanac. This is a very exciting bundle, and like all of our favorite bundles, proceeds, or at least a portion of them, go towards a very worthy charity. In this case, towards fighting the pandemic with direct relief. 10% of your payment after gateway fees are donated to the pandemic-related charity, sending protective gear and critical care medications to health workers and emergency deliveries to medical facilities all across the United States and Canada, as well as regional response agencies all around the world. Get your bundle before it's gone.
Ooh. Round of applause. That's a great bundle, boss. There you go. I love it. I saw the infomercial as it was rolling.
Right.
Well, Noir. How you were like, no, you didn't like that description, huh? Are you gonna fight with Javion?
Well, it's good. I'm ready for the next segment because I got something that's gonna blow you all away.
All right, really? Just because
we're
so excited. All right, then let's go ahead and just blast right into the crowdfunder court. Everybody, welcome. Here we are, the crowdfunder court. court. Anyone who doesn't win, it is no longer people die here. We are at the CFC, everybody in the house. And if you lose, guess what? You're going to lose your title and everyone's going to go boo hiss as we slam you against a metal chair. Welcome to the game. Only one can survive this this cage battle.
Can I just check? We're slamming people into metal chairs. We're not hitting them with metal chairs.
No, we're slamming them into metal chairs.
Okay, got it. Just making
from
sure.
From the top rope, we're slamming them down into metal chairs because it's no longer about royalty. It's about crowdfunding and pleasing this crowd.
All right.
Of course,
All right, Baze,
I'm gonna be
you and I
coming
need to
in.
watch a wrestling match at least once.
Yeah.
I'm coming in with a strong contender called Keyforge Wind of Exchange, and this one is on Crowdfunder. It has and ends in 11 days. So if you guys may have heard of it, after 2 years of hiatus, Keyforge returns under the ownership of Ghost Galaxy. The new Winds of Exchange expansion is actually kind of old, but unreleased. This was the last expansion that Fantasy Flight worked on before shutting down Keyforge production during the pandemic. Keyforge production was shut down due to some issues with the procedural generated script that produced this deck. Ghost Galaxy was formed specifically to fix this issue and return Keyforge to production and publish the additional procedurally generated games. This set is basically, if you're like really into Keyforge and was like whiplashed by boom boom, it was here, it was gone. This Kickstarter is going to be releasing that deck to people. If you haven't seen, they have I don't know if you noticed this, but if you click on that little linky there, you would notice that they have already fundraised over $500,000, which is 1,000% over what they originally estimated. It looks like a lot of people are very, very excited about this, especially for those who were really excited to get that deck and couldn't get a hands of it because of what happened in the production. So, if you guys want to say, bring back Keyforge, you can go ahead and tell them on GameFound. So again, Keyforge Wind of Exchange ends in 11 days at Crowdfunder.
So I actually have tons of Keyforge decks, and I mean, I have all like a case of just Keyforge decks. So if y'all ever want to try it, just let me know. I'll bring a couple of decks. You can pick out your favorites. Personally, my favorite faction got removed from the game. They were this like technical faction that let you draw a bunch of extra cards. I was one of the very sad people when we found out that Keyforge was going on hiatus, because I actually love Keyforge. It's got this really cool mechanic of literally unique decks every single time you buy one. That's why I have so many, because you never know if you're going to get one of the rare cards, but you can't mix the cards with other decks. The whole deck, you just buy it all at once and then you just play with it. You could literally play Keyforge against anybody you want to, and they'll never have the same deck as you. That's so cool to me. And the mechanics are really fun to play with, and you could just like have entire huge armies in a big line of just monsters out on the table. It's a really cool game. Definitely check out the Kickstarter.
Yeah. And next in this ring, we got Davion. Show us around what you got.
Sure. Okay, yeah. So my Kickstarter ends on October 13th, actually. So you got 26 days to go. It's called Rise and Fall. It uses hex tiles in a very unique world to make your nation thrive in a game by Christoph Bellinger, who you might have heard of from Dungeon Twister and Archipelago. High mountain peaks, freezing glaciers, mysterious lands, and verdant forests and bountiful plains. Will your colony overcome the natural wonders of this fantasy land to build a lasting civilization? It's a game that plays 2 to 4 players with up to 8. If you can also play with up to 8 if you have 2 copies of the game, and it only plays 20 minutes per player. What you're doing is you are trying to control as much territory as possible, seize opportunities, and position yourself strategically in order to expand and progress in a fantasy world in order to get your victory points. It displays lots of amazing landscapes where glaciers, peaks, islands, and huge cliffs are all common challenges to overcome. It really plays with not just the placement of like adjacency bonuses and things like that, but it really tries to bring worlds to life by adding in like height differentials or huge obstacles that you have to sort of overcome with special cards and things like that. It's supposed to be an immersive game, easy to understand, hard to master. So no huge complicated rules, although the board state is so pretty with all these really cool miniatures on these hex tiles. I've been getting into hex tiles a little bit more recently with a game called Acropolis that just came out from Hachette Games that I got from Gen Con. So I was really excited to see this one. Apparently, there's no luck. There's no randomness whatsoever. You create the board as a preamble to each game, featuring a different world to explore every single time. Apparently, one of the bonuses to the game is its accessibility. All the actions and units are displayed on 6 civilization cards. So you discover and learn the game as you go. You don't have to read a huge rule book with tons and tons of like glossary terms or whatever in order to figure out how to play. You can optimize your strategy and adapt to your opponent's plans, so you're not just playing a game of solitaire where you're trying to figure out the best way to place yourself on the board. You have to think about where other people are, plan around them, and things like that. There's a lot of really cool stretch goals as well. If you pledge $8 or 8, I believe that's yen. No, that's definitely not yen. I don't know what that symbol is. But if you pledge at least $8, you get the video game version. That's right. You can pre-purchase with a discount the Rise and Fall online application. It's a digital adaptation of the board game. It's really cool. Yeah, so there's a ton of really cool stuff. You can also pledge the Explorer's Pledge at $59. You get a ton of content. You get your color selection during the post-campaign survey. Shipping's not included in the price, though, so you still have to pay that. But you get a copy of the game, and you can also, bump that reward up higher. So it's a really, really cool looking game. I love that it plays not just with like the buildings and the obstacles and stuff, but the sea as well and sailing around with your boats. It looks really, really cool. It got funded in under 12 hours. It looks so cool. So yeah, definitely check it out if you get a chance. Back the Kickstarter today.
All right, very, very cool. And in the other corner, standing over there is.
Is it my turn? Listen, I know that crowdfunding court is not a competition, right? It's not us against each other. It's us trying to show you the best of what's out there. So that being said, let me just sell you on something that doesn't need to be sold. Today, my Kickstarter, I don't even know where to start telling you. Like, let me ask you a question. 18 seasons worth of heart-pulling stories. Huh? Dr. McDreamy, right? And your future, people. That's right. I'm here to tell you about the one and the only, the Grey's Anatomy tarot deck.
This is a
Catch
crime.
your breath, because we're going in. All right. Have you been enthralled by the story of Meredith Grey and her colleagues? Have you ever wanted to know what comes next in your life? Well, I got it all here. One beautifully designed package. 28 days to go on this Kickstarter. 4 backers. That don't matter. 18 seasons. Katherine Heigl, Justin Chambers, TR Knight, Chandra Wilson, James Pickens, Isaiah Washington, Patrick Dempsey. The talent of all these actors come together for 18 whole seasons to tell you about what life is like in the streets of this hospital.
Why did you do this?
All right. I'm not playing around. Back to Kickstarter.
They've got a tarot card with Meredith sick in bed with COVID.
Yes.
And her daughter.
Yes. It was heart pulling when that happened. Listen, this show is so inspirational. It has, you know how many spin-offs there are of Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, Station 19, A Corazon Abierto?
We do not talk about Station 19.
Station 19.
No. Don't ever mention that show. All right, sorry. Please continue.
How are we going to get a Station 19 tarot deck if we don't show support for Grey's Anatomy?
No.
I'm not playing around. If I come back and I see this thing only backed at $138, I'm smacking everybody.
All right.
Thank you all for tuning in
Thank you
to
so much.
Crowdfunder Court. This is great. I had so much fun.
They're on 19 seasons.
Bonsai, you want to take us out?
Alrighty then. I think that was the end. Obviously, the crowd went wild for that stunning performance of all of us. We are all the best around. No one else can bring us down. Of course, hey, guess what? There are more shows here on Gen Con TV, a whole slew of them. And let me go ahead and run down the list. Keep in mind, all of these are on Pacific time zones because West Coast is the best coast, no matter what Noire says. And
y'all can be wrong.
As it goes, coming up right after this, we got Tabletakes game night with me, Noire, and Javion. We're going to be playing. It's kind of a funny story. You'll have to just see when we're there. And also right after at 5 p.m., join us for joyful gaming around Sarah's table. And hey, guess what? This Sunday, Nerd Botchery continues its adventures at 4 p.m. through 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the streaming schedule goes as followed. Monday, starting with 4 p.m., Board Games with the Brothers Murph. Tuesday, 4 p.m., Out of Character with Mark Tissan. And then Wednesday at 6 p.m., Actor Roki, Series 3, the final movie night. Bring your popcorn, bring all your stuff, and let's all gather in. Thursdays, of course, at 10 a.m., we got Blood on the Clock Tower. 4 p.m., with Roll with Rem Artemis, and then join us, of course, on the best day of game of course Gen Con TV with us, Tabletakes, and followed by game night and Sarah's table. I want to say, hey, you know what? I haven't said this enough. Thank you all, Noire and Javion, for joining us, and the background god Marcus for hanging out, and also, hey, to you vote to you viewers here on Twitch, and for those of people watching us on YouTube, I appreciate you, all that good stuff. And hey, if you miss any of our programming, don't forget you can check our VODs out here on Twitch or on YouTube 24 hours later. And then, of course, you know what? Don't forget to just, follow Gen Con TV for here for more than just, more of the best full games of game all year. Hold on, sorry. Here for more of the best fortes in gaming all year. I'm gonna get it right one day because I'm a great host. But yes, yay! Thank you,
Sandra O, Catherine Heigl, just
okay.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.